Oh yeah.
Y'all know
That,
what time it is.
yay.
Yeah, man. So I think we should just jump straight into it, man.
Oh
Before we break down the different elements of what took place on this episode, what was your first initial impression after the episode finished? What was going on in your mind? What were you thinking?
well, I was thinking. I figured all. Well, my first thought was all along. It was exactly what I thought.
Yeah,
Agnes, Agatha, if you may call her. You know what I'm saying?
they dragged out her intro so long, man, because it was
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
knew who it was, but we were just waiting for them to confirm.
Yeah, we pretty much, and whatever she did with the kids, I knew she was going to eventually do something with the kids because she was around. Remember, she's always around the kids, willing to take the kids wherever, willing to babysit them, watch them, all that. And I don't know what she plans to do with them kids, but I have a lot of different theories in my head about how that thing ended. Like I think the way that the after credit scene ended, I'm thinking now for some reason that what's his name, Pietro is not who he really is. He's probably either Nightmare or Mephisto.
Okay,
he's one of them.
I'm very I don't know who Mephisto is now. Because at first I was like 100% sure that it was Pietro. Now I'm like, okay, maybe that's too easy. Maybe either he hasn't been shown yet, or he's Ralph, the husband that you never see that she keeps mentioning, or he could be, yeah, I think. Oh, that fly! Did you see that fly that was on the curtain?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
So apparently in the comics, I didn't know this until I saw some breakdowns from other people, but in the comics, one of the forms that Mephisto took was a fly.
Wow.
And Marvel doesn't just show random things just to show them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like, okay, why the emphasis? Because everything, they started playing that sinister music. The camera started showing different things around the room. And then for some strange reason, they felt it was absolutely necessary to zoom in on the fly. I was like, huh, okay.
Interesting.
Might be something there. Maybe I'm overdoing it. Maybe Marvel's just messing with us. But yeah, man, I mean, it's either her husband, Ralph, the fly, or it could still be Pietro, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, all of those it's up in the air right now with those right there.
It's
one.
It is.
I bet, or we could be real wrong, and because they like to trick you.
Oh yeah. They like to string you along in a particular direction, only to be like, "Oh, you thought it was this? Well, boom!" And then they hit you with something else.
Right.
I do admire the fact that because you know how they try to mimic different shows and different styles of shows.
Yep.
And this time around, it seemed as though they did a little bit of a mix between The Office and Modern Family, I felt.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, because I tried to, like, last week they did, what was that, Malcolm in the Middle? And they're trying a lot of different shows, man. I'm picking. You pick up on it quick. You like, yo, what does this remind me?
Yeah, it's like what show did they choose this time?
Right.
Let's see what that is. But no, the intro was definitely reminiscent of The Office.
Oh, definitely
reminiscent of The Office.
Definitely.
But once again, man, it's one of those things where it's like, after I watched the episode a couple of times, I go straight to YouTube and to TikTok to see what people are saying and to see what theories they've come up with. But not until after I take my own notes.
Oh yeah.
I go and check and see, okay, am I on the same page as some of these other people? Or am I just overdoing it? And apparently, you know, the part where they were doing the opening credits and they kept on showing her name, Wanda, 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 Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one part where they were like, I know what you're doing, Wanda. I don't know if you caught that part. Let me see if I can get to that clip since I got Disney Plus all queued up and everything. Because you know your boy is extra prepared and whatnot. Let me go to that tab. Share audio. Boom. All right. So let's go to the opening credits. Right there. Our favorite Marvel theme, and then into the opening credits. It's crazy how innocent she looks, but she's playing such a powerful character.
Yeah, she looked very innocent, man. Like she don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. And you know what? She probably doesn't.
Yeah, she probably don't. And the truth about to come out next episode. Well, by the end of this episode, I feel like some of her truth was coming out.
Oh yeah.
She started picking up on Agatha.
Yeah. Come on now. This is what happens when you have multiple tabs open, but that's okay. Bro, what are you doing?
It's because we black.
Saying. yeah. This is what happens. Typical.
Yeah.
But while we're letting it figure itself out, there was actually, you know what? There was this one thing that I noticed about. I'm gonna reshare it in a second. There was this one thing that I noticed. The commercial. Oh, wait a minute. Shamoon coming through. Let me add him to the screen. And let me go. What's going on, sir?
Where's your face at?
He's on makeup right now. You got to give him some time.
Brushing his hair.
World we created.
That's loud.
What's up?
Mom, are you playing
now? Hey, what are you playing? It's not lagging.
I know. I noticed that. It's not letting us be great.
Yeah. It's disrespectful right now.
Yeah, it's just okay. Maybe it's gonna give us a chance here.
What happened to everyone? Everyone bailed out.
I don't know, man. But it's all good. You know, they'll catch up on the episode later.
Look,
they're missing a good episode to talk about right now. I just
wait.
Really good.
How come Emery? I thought Emery could make it. Like, what happened with that?
She said something last minute came up.
Expanding the borders of the false.
So she'll probably jump in on the next one, the next episode.
She said you could get copyright strike because I remember my friend was trying to do that and he got like blocked on the stream. He basically tried to
you think YouTube gonna let
he got copyright strike. Oh, okay. He got a copyright strike. Yeah. Have you got screenshots of it?
I had a couple of copyright claims for the last couple of episodes, but all I did was dispute it and say, listen, we transformed the original content by adding commentary, by adding analysis, by adding theories. So therefore, it is not exactly as what it originally was when it was created. And they'll block it for a little while until they review my dispute, and then they'll release it. So that's what they did last week. Because I played some clips from Disney Plus, and they blocked it, and I'm like, but then they reviewed my dispute. Yeah, they review. No, but here's the funny thing: YouTube blocked it, but Facebook never took it down.
Yeah.
Facebook would. I don't think Facebook really looks into things like that. It's only like IG, YouTube. I think Twitter has started doing copyright shit as well, which is bad.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that isn't Instagram owned by Facebook, but yet Facebook is a little bit more relaxed than Instagram. It's weird.
I still think they're like kind of. I think they operate separately for certain things.
Okay,
but I mean, I think Instagram is. I don't know why they get all arsy with copyright now. I don't get it because, like, let's be real. Like, it's not everyone posts shit on Instagram. It's not like anyone's claiming it to have their own content and all that.
Of course,
What happened to Dwayne?
I don't know. Is the snap happening?
You know what? It seems like it. Because wait, how many was the number originally? 5, 6?
Okay, so it was me, you, Mitch, Dwayne, E. Marie, and Lady Ace. Lady Ace hasn't caught up yet. Mitch, his work schedule changed. E. Marie last minute has something come up, and now Dwayne, I don't know what just happened. Dwayne was just with us.
That is the snap. They're reducing us. They're reducing us,
man. They're like, yo.
We're like the OG fans. You get it? Like the OG Avengers. They were the last one standing. Now we have to solve this issue of WandaVision.
Now we gotta get the quantum tunnel and make things work.
And then Kang's gonna pop out and then find out that that's actually Dwayne from the future.
That. Oh wait a minute.
That's DC. Dwayne.
Yeah,
we're talking about
Wi-Fi weird.
I was saying, man, that Thanos is snapping everybody away.
Yeah.
I came back, man. Came back from the snap. Man.
I appreciate it. Okay. So Shimon, before you were logged in, we were talking about our favorite witch, Agatha Harkness.
Oh, that scene was. I was like, okay, so I knew she was up to something. We all knew Agnes was up to some shit, but the fact that she was behind Pietro, she was behind all the little things that we didn't expect. Like, I think it was also something else, but the Pietro thing in particular that screwed me up because I honestly thought that was just a Mephisto thing. Although I think they could reveal that that is Mephisto. And her husband Ralph is Mephisto, who is actually Quicksilver. That's
exactly what I was telling Dwayne.
He kind of possessed that body. I think Agatha's maybe Agatha's made Mephisto, aka Ralph, aka who we see as Pietro, is actually been like made to look like him. And then the whole recasting, that's already playing on Wanda's mind. But maybe they did that so Wanda would just kind of. It gets to her emotionally even more because it's not really her brother, it's someone that looks like him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, that whole Evan Peters thing, people are now the fandom are very split. They're either is this like confirming the multiverse right in this moment, or is this still teasing it for that Doctor Strange movie? Yeah. But I just think just tell us that this is a Quicksilver from the X-Men, and I hope they explain why Agnes has picked this specific Pietro. Why not the original one?
Not to mention, with Marvel, they know this was the other Quicksilver. They could have cast
come on,
else, but they chose this guy in particular for a reason. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I think they're doing it to really like fuck with us, and I think they are confirming other stuff too. But multiverse is definitely happening. We know that, but I don't know. We just still don't know exactly when. Because if it's WandaVision, it's just Phase 4 that's kicked off. Like, is that really going to be the first thing we know about the multiverse? I feel like we'll go into it in Spider-Man, and then it'll probably get fully introduced then, and then we'll kind of understand it way more in Doctor Strange. Because I still think it's early just to introduce this concept out there. But think about it. It's like when they started the Infinity Saga, the first Infinity Stone. Came within I think a few years into the first phase. So we need at least 2 or 3 years, I think, until we get to that point of the multiverse, which is like we're getting introduced to it. The things are just so much bigger now. So it's going to take longer to explain this without it fucking with our head. The snap and all that kind of stuff is actually so much simple when you compare it to the multiverse. Like literally, snap is you're getting these stones that can create a powerful, thing like the snap on a cosmic scale, and then it screws up with universes. But the multiverse, you're talking about millions and millions of different universes, so millions of different GQs rather than just one GQ in that universe. So shit's going to get crazy, the multiverse.
Yeah. One thing that got me super excited, and it was brilliant how they did it because it was very subtle, but it still alluded to, what was to come.
Yeah.
Was this right here?
Oh, dude, that's something we didn't even get. We haven't talked about it yet. I think she's basically Monica's finally got the first stage of her powers.
Yes,
and she used it a little bit against Wanda, and I think that's pretty cool. And they were teasing a big fight in the finale, so I think Wanda's going to lose control because of Agnes, because Agnes took control of her at the end, right? So I think this is where Chaos Magic comes in, and then Monica's going to have a big battle with her. Perhaps Wanda loses so much because Wanda gets more powerful with the Chaos Magic. I think they'll introduce.
Right.
The Monica's is basically going to have like a really tough time fighting her because she just got her powers. So
yeah, she just got it. She has no idea how to use them yet.
Right.
But I did notice when Wanda was controlling her and she was about to slam her to the ground, you saw that little blue glow when she landed. So that was her making sure that she didn't, fall on her face or anything like that. She stopped that landing.
Right. I honestly think Monica is pretty much going to be. I think she might be a main character going forward because I think people. I mean, with the Carol situation, I'm pretty sure Marvel understand how much people don't like Captain Marvel. So,
yeah.
I mean, Monica played. I mean, that scene when she's going through the Hex, she basically, you can see all these different versions of her, even like the voices of her when she was a kid in Captain Marvel, and like it's all merging into one now. And I think they also they kind of teased. I don't know if she's gonna be next Captain Marvel or she's gonna be Photon, or they're just gonna call her Monica. And this is how it is because Photon is pretty much what she was in the comics, other than being Captain Marvel, and she had that obviously the black and white costume.
Yeah. I was gonna say the costume is kind of an homage to what her outfit is in the
exactly. Yeah.
And I think she went by 3 different names. Of course, she was Captain Marvel at one point. She was also Photon. She was also Spectrum. I don't know which one they're gonna go with. I'm leaning more towards Photon simply because her mom had that nickname.
Yeah. Right. The code name and everything.
Yeah.
Photon.
Dwayne, what were your thoughts when this happened? You know what I'm talking about. This scene right here.
I honestly, that scene. I don't know. It was weird. Her eyes. My biggest question about that whole thing. Her eyes.
I love that. Me and
look, once she
you're really going into detail. Dwayne's like, her eyes, bro, just weird.
Look, she fought like crazy to get back in there, right? And then her eyes changed on me. I thought she went blind for a minute. I was like, oh shit, she's gone blind. But something else is going on. Something else is going on because it happened again.
The character in the comics, she becomes she becomes a hero herself. I think the constant going in and out of the Hex and rewriting her DNA has given her powers to now she's starting to manifest them now. Her ability here is that she can see everything in the electromagnetic spectrum.
I think one of her powers is energy manipulation. So it's like you said, she can see all types. She can look at a light bulb and just see the electricity running through it. And I think this energy manipulation, I don't know how it works exactly because I don't know too much about all of her powers. But if I'm right, I mean, energy manipulation is you can obviously play with energy in different forms. So I think she could. I mean, I don't know if that is sort of hinting at Rogue at some point, you know, from X-Men, because she had like energy manipulation, but she could steal powers. I don't think Monica has that. But I think they might be teasing something like that as well.
And I heard somebody mention that Rogue may or may not be a character.
I hope she is, because she's pretty cool.
Marvel, because then that's where she gets her flying abilities from and super strength.
Right. And I remember she Rogue in that massive, but I think it's Avengers vs X-Men, or it's another comic. She steals Carol's powers. You know, Rogue, to the point, if you touch her, she just has your power. I think
permanent.
Exactly. I mean, just imagine if she touched Thanos. She turned into Thanos.
Man,
that's pretty handy if you think about it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know with the logic in the MCU how it'd work, because like, if she touched Iron Man with the suit on, I mean, how would that work? But I mean, we won't see that now because Tony's dead. But yeah.
Well, technically, because if we really break it down, Rogue's actual power is absorbing a particular person's life force, right?
Oh yeah, that's actually a better way of describing it.
So if
like once you touch somebody, she got their powers.
The only thing she would really absorb from Iron Man is maybe the. Oh wait, no, he took it out. He took it out of his chest at the end of Iron Man 3, right?
Yeah,
So that what do you call reactor. So that means, okay, so if he still had the arc reactor in his chest and she touched him, she would probably absorb the energy of the arc reactor. But because he took it out and it's no longer an actual part of him, it's just going to be a typical, you know, when she touches a regular human being. Because everything that Iron Man does is technologically based.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I'm curious how like they will write her character in further, because they introduced her in a show I kind of wasn't expecting. I mean, her character got all to do with like Captain Marvel, but I think because that it was rumored that that film's going to be like a Civil War type film. Yeah. So obviously it's going to be an ensemble, like pretty much an Avengers film. So I'm thinking they wanted to develop her character through this, and then by the time that film comes out, they'll probably develop her character more. And I think the beef in that film will be between her and Carol, because she clearly didn't like the reference to Carol when Wu said, "Oh, you know, Captain Marvel got close." I think because obviously her mother died and everything, she probably like Carol could have probably helped, and she just kind of abandoned her after all those years.
Yeah, that's the impression.
Even though she said she was going to help the Skrulls, but you know, she kind of forgot who the people that cared about her most.
Exactly.
I just want to see like I think because they'll have similar powers, I think they'll have like a fight, and I think more. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm so much more of a fan of Monica than Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah.
So if it ever came to like a
definitely.
You know, like that kind of situation, I would 100% choose Monica. It wouldn't even be a debate. Even if Captain Marvel was right, like Cap was in Civil War. I mean, the fact I just don't like Captain Marvel, I can't agree with her. It's just Monica is so likable. I think
it's smart how they're building Monica in this series format. So by the time the movie comes, she has a built-in fan base now, and they have vested interest in her.
And they've done it really well. She's written very well. Like
she's
you just don't find her annoying. Like Captain Marvel just gave you the most evil impression. And prior to the film, there's all this controversial stuff. Like nothing with Monica and the actress herself. She does such a great job. So I'm hooked on her character. I think she's one of the characters in the series at the moment that I really do like.
Yeah, very true. I'm really curious as to what the big fight. Well, here's the thing, right? Because there's speculation that I'll play that theory video separately. There's speculation that even if Doctor Strange does show up in this series, he's not the big cameo that everybody's talking about.
I don't think he is.
And on top of that, we still don't know who Monica's engineer friend is. We just see.
Oh, that was. I think they revealed who it was in this episode, but that was the biggest letdown. It was some character who's not even in the comic. It's a new character that no one even knew about. Like, I was watching Emergency Awesome and other creators, and they genuinely, these guys, they talk about Marvel every day, and he couldn't even find a reference or a name to the character source. So, I mean, it was just made for the show, so big disappointment. But maybe they're just teasing us for the aerospace engine.
I feel like because there was an interview with Tiana Harris, I think that's her name. There was an interview with her, and she was saying she can't wait for us to see the big cameo. So apparently,
she said
we
that.
haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet.
And did you see what Paul Bettany said?
What happened?
Paul Bettany said when he said about the big cameo, he wasn't talking about Evan Peters. He was saying it's someone who he hasn't worked with yet, and he's wanted to for years. Right. And the way he said it's got to be. I think it's Magneto, man. I'm gonna put it out there.
Yeah, Ian McKellen or Michael.
See, the thing is, if we really went deep and took hours to research, you could probably figure it out who he hasn't worked with, and it has to be linked to Marvel because he obviously seen the X-Men films, but he's probably just wondered, if I could work with Magneto or Professor X. Yeah. If it's Professor X or Magneto, I'm not going to be surprised because they're talking about mutants. They're kind of reintroducing them.
I'm gonna hop on here on my laptop, y'all.
Okay. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take you off the screen.
Okay. I'm just curious. I mean, it just makes it more curious. I mean, we were saying Blue Marvel was going to show up this episode, but I think that would be a big cameo. But they would have kept that under wraps
because they said it was Luke Skywalker level.
So now, what could be Luke Skywalker level? Let's be honest.
I mean, besides Magneto, it would have to be an original Avenger or somebody from one of the other Marvel films that weren't a part of the MCU, like the X-Men or Spider-Man films.
Honestly, so the options I have. We've got Magneto, Professor X, possibly one of the OG Avengers, but someone, a creator I follow, made a very good point saying it could be Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man comes in. Because if they do that, that would make sense. Because people are saying that apparently Wanda shows up in Spider-Man 3. So if that's the case, then what if Maguire comes in as Spider-Man, and then obviously Wanda's gonna get confused. Wait, you're not the Peter I know. Again, you look different.
Yeah. Boy, I'm back up in here. Oh yeah.
So I think that if Toby shows up, that would blow it. That's for me, Luke Skywalker, because that was something from day one of Marvel. So Luke is from day one of Star Wars. So it's kind of I feel like they have to bring in Spider-Man as well as a possibility because
he definitely popped up. He definitely popped up.
Who do you think the big cameo is going to be, Dwayne?
It's definitely going to be Tobey Maguire. I had prediction from day one, okay, it's definitely going to be him. I feel like it's either going to be him or it's between these two people. It's between Tobey Maguire and it's going to be somebody from the Fantastic or someone from the Fantastic Four.
Reed Richards is another option.
That's another one.
Because remember, Monica kind of hinted she had a friend, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I don't think we've seen that friend yet.
Nope.
The thing is, the person that she met, that helped her out with that massive vehicle, that was a character. I was saying to GQ, that was a character that wasn't even in the comics. It's just made for the show. Mm-hmm. So either that was totally big misdirection, or they're kind of just teasing it and they're going to show us as the big cameo. But
yeah, they're stringing us along.
Yeah, they are.
What if they kind of do a double whammy? We're not expecting it. We get two big cameos. Can you imagine? We see Spider-Man and we see Reed Richards.
I lose it.
They're from the same universe. If you think about it, that Fantastic Four universe is technically canon to that Tobey Maguire universe. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I can imagine that Reed Richards and that Maguire together, just going, "What's up?" That'd be freaking nuts, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be crazy. That's fan service right there, though. Fan service right there.
I think they will. They said this thing as well. If it's not those guys, I can expect Professor X or Magneto, or imagine both, because I think they said they initially wanted to introduce the mutants slowly, and then by the time all of them have kind of got into the stories of all the shows and films, they will then do an X-Men movie. I think that's a great way of reintroducing the X-Men, because you're giving them screen time before their own film, and then bang, by the time their film starts.
The whole bunch of them are supposed to be showing up during Shang-Chi. Because
I heard something about that.
A Mortal Kombat-esque.
I freaking can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that.
So I'm really curious as to how they're gonna do that. I did have so here's a question that I did have. What did you guys think of the commercial, and what do you think the commercial meant? Because I had to watch it a couple of times before I had a little bit of an idea, but then I'm gonna show you a theory video that I came across.
I heard something about the Nexus name, specifically why it's called Nexus. So it's something to do with all Nexus of all the realms. I read something up about that.
Yeah.
And the Nexus relates to like beings just like Wanda, like powerful beings in all the realms. Mm-hmm. So, and the fact this is red, and obviously all these commercials are somewhat linking to Wanda, the red, and then the fact it's called Nexus is basically saying about Wanda's power. So this actually could be teasing the chaos magic, showing like, you know, because in the ad they say about you basically with this you feel your feelings and you feel more depressed. Maybe the fact that Agnes is controlling her and the fact she's getting more power through that control, and I'm sure Agnes will probably teach her while she's under that control. She's going to unlock a power maybe Agnes can't get, because she can see Wanda's got this potential.
And I think this is like asking her, why? How are you doing this? How did you do that? How did you do this?
Did y'all hear the side effects on that Nexus joint though? The side effects with this pill right here on the commercial.
What were they?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
I think there's more depression and stuff. Like
it was quite funny. I feel like the tablet in itself is basically Wanda's getting this. She's taking, let's say she's taking medication in, like the fact that Agnes is controlling her. It's like a drug. Like, you know, she doesn't know what she's feeling her feelings. She's feeling more depressed. Maybe with the mind control, that's how she feels. And this is probably being mentioned in the advert, because I feel the adverts are foreshadowing what's going to happen, or it's just generally telling you something about Wanda. So, dude, there's so many theories about all the adverts. It's crazy.
She's depressed because
it's either foreshadowing or it's something stemming to Wanda's past.
Right.
Yeah. She's depressed for real though, because Vision is really dead. Because outside of this world that she created, or whoever created, we don't know who created it. He can't survive. You know what I'm saying? So
So I'm really curious as to see the one question that hasn't been answered yet is it's crazy how Agatha Harkness's focus is Wanda, but Director Hayward's focus is Vision.
Mm-hmm.
And we still don't have answers on that side of everything yet. We don't know why Director Hayward wants Vision.
He wants them.
I thought the Ultron
they did kind of answer it.
Huh?
They did kind of answer it, I think. So Hayward basically wants Vision, and Darcy was saying this to Vision, I think. I think basically Hayward wants that body because he wants to make Vision into like a sentient weapon. Funny enough, you know, remember in like Days of Future Past, those sentient weapons are used to eradicate the mutants. I feel like Hayward I still think that he's going to be Human Ultron, because he tries to overthrow the Avengers and all that. Maybe that he'll come back into the story as another character, but I just feel like he is Human Ultron, or they're teasing that, because I don't think that whole Ultron stuff's done. I feel like he wants revenge on Wanda as well. I'm curious why Agnes
Ultron wanted Vision's body to begin with.
Exactly, and it's funny how specifically Hayward does. They kind of when Vision's with Darcy, when he wakes her up, they talk about it. It kind of throws it in the air like, oh, Hayward's not trying to be the bad guy. He's just doing something he feels is right. But I still feel like they're trying to confuse you with the fact who he really is. I still think the thing with Agnes is still really confusing, because like, why is she trying to control Wanda? Okay, apart from her power, why is she so personally like controlling Wanda? What's her purpose with that? Who's she
Not
working
to
for?
mention,
Where the kids at?
I think she's feeding off. I think she's feeding off of her power too.
Oh yeah,
man. Like for example, in the dungeon, what was that book?
I think that's something that Doctor Strange would have known about, because I remember like all the. Do you remember that scene with Wong? He tries to go to the dark. I think it's the he tries to take dark dimension. Yes, if you draw like that's what Ancient One did. She drew power from the dark dimension, and Doctor Strange. Or remember, I think Mordor says, "Oh, if you screw up, like it can create time vortexes. It can shatter the dimension. Basically, loads of crazy stuff." So I think that's basically a stolen book, perhaps. And some people actually have theorized that that bunny is Doctor Strange, and he tried to get there in time. I was
just about to ask
Agnes changed him.
Something's up with that bunny, man.
Well, if it's not the
they keep panning the camera to that bunny, and they can't. Marvel doesn't do anything for no reason, bro.
Hey man,
that's the same reason why I think something is up with that fly that was on the curtain. Because remember,
if it's not Doctor Strange, I think it's Billy and Tommy, because they were both absent when Wanda was in the house. So the flies are the Tommy, and then the rabbits are the Billy. Oh my God! Wait, Billy was stroking the rabbit.
Were there?
He was stroking the rabbit.
She was showing the rabbit in the beginning for the talent show. She's always talking about the rabbit, and when the twins came over, the twins were petting the rabbit. So I don't think it's the twins. I think the Doctor Strange theory is pretty interesting. I wouldn't like that,
because considering this guy fought Thanos like that and everything, and then he just gets turned into a bunny. Like I would like that idea, but at the same time, it's like Doctor Strange has got so powerful now. Like, how can he just suddenly lose like that? But maybe it was out of surprise, and I feel like the other than Thanos, all the magic and stuff. I mean, let's be honest. If Thanos didn't have the Infinity Stones, he wouldn't have been able to stop Strange. No chance.
No, not at all.
So,
Strange gave him the business.
Bro, I still never forget how badass that scene was. So I think the things they're going into now, the mysticism, the magic, there's probably things that he doesn't know about. So this is probably him still feeling like a rookie, like he did in his film before he came Sorcerer Supreme. So, dude, I can't wait to see that, the reveals. I think the next episode will get a big reveal. Then the next one will be the big cameo, because I think they need to.
I think that last episode is going to be the big action piece.
Probably. It has to be, because okay, so I know I said this before. Do anybody really think that Vision's over after this, right? Y'all think it's over, or they gonna keep him in the loop some kind of way? Like, I don't know.
As much as I would want Vision to stay, because I have so much respect for him in the comics, unless they bring him back as that other version of Vision, where it wasn't the colored Vision, it was the Vision that was all white, and he was like
yeah, I hope they do that. Because he's got a good storyline.
Yeah, that could happen though. That could happen.
Because then they could finally show Vision's extent of his power, because they haven't really shown that yet. They teased it a little bit in Age of Ultron, but bro, he's like a mechanical Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. They ain't put no
I don't like how they've underpowered him since Civil War.
They dampened him.
So annoying. Like, he's so much more powerful than apart from the stone. He has literally got so much potential, like Banner said, and he was evolving. Like, he will evolve, and I think if you remove that emotion, he's just basically RoboCop, like unstoppable, obviously more powerful, but he's just got that edge, like that edge that Vision has. He's freaking. You can't stop him that much, So I'd love to see that side to him.
Yeah.
So now, what do you guys think of this here? I came across this on TikTok. Let's see if it plays.
Marvel put some more respect on Vision name. He doing him dirty.
Hey man, yes.
Wait, is this a video of someone's theory?
Really a sounding thunderclap, which I thought may be a reference to Wanda looking up in this moment, because when Thanos snaps his fingers, we also hear a roll of thunder. The ad was for a pill called Nexus, reference to the nexus of all realities, the cosmic corridor between the multiverse, which might explain how Agnes got this Pietro. She pulled him from another universe. They even turned the multivitamin sign to the side, so we just see multiverse. They also say before you take it, consult your doctor. And guess which doctor just happens to be an expert of the multiverse? Stephen Strange. Funny enough,
This motherfucker did his homework.
just watch this movie to the research video. Go check that out if you have not. But yes, when I realized when the Ancient One sends him to the astral plane, he literally visits the nexus of all realities. She's literally defining the multiverse as he flies through it. Meaning, I think we can expect the Good Doctor to appear in the next couple episodes. What's even better is that Paul Bettany is suddenly big cameo with someone that we've never seen before. Which means even if Strange does appear, we're going to be getting someone even bigger. And that's the team.
Wait, who did he say at the end? That's a really good theory as well. I love the
Yeah, he was saying that even if when Doctor Strange shows up, there's somebody that's even bigger that's going to show up.
Wait. The Elder Gods could possibly. They haven't introduced them yet. Plus, maybe like one of the big cosmic beings. Like, oh my shit! What if we see not just Dormammu? What if we see like all the other guys from the Infinity Gauntlet comic? Like, we might see they teased in the Loki trailer. They teased, I think, Kang the Conqueror.
They take the Time Variance Authority or something like that. Where
yeah. And you know the three heads that they showed? That was kind of linking to Living Tribunal. So and Living Tribunal was supposed to be an Infinity War, but because it would have blown people's minds and been a lot to take in, obviously with Thanos.
Been able to comprehend that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I want to focus on Thanos as it's his film. Putting Tribunal in there would probably be like Spider-Man 3 again. Like, people just like, oh, you adding Venom, adding all of these guys, but it's not working. Although I think it was fine, but yeah, I think too many people will be complaining about that.
Yeah. Too many villains at once.
Damn, they dug deep with that one though. They went all the way back to what was that? Was that Infinity War, Age of Ultron? They went back to.
The Doctor Strange film does introduce the idea of the multiverse and the fact it exists, but it still doesn't give you anything in more detail. And obviously, we just know the multiverse as the multiverse, not all the different dimensions and all this. Now they're bringing it up, so we're thinking more about it. But I think that Nexus thing, with what the guy was saying, that makes so much sense. That during the snap and everything. I mean, I do feel
that was clever.
Yeah,
the multivitamin, that I didn't even notice that. I mean, I was so engaged with what was like the dialogue and everything. I didn't even think about the advert in that way. Like, you got to rewatch these episodes in different ways. So one time enjoy it, second time look at things you never looked at before. Pause it.
Oh yeah,
take it in. I mean, I can't just watch an episode once and think I've seen everything. You really haven't.
No. Every time you watch somebody else's breakdown, you're like, damn, how did they see that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 times. How did I not see that?
Exactly.
Between Awesome, New Rock Stars, there's a couple of them. E-Man's movie.
New Rock Stars. I watch a lot of Emergency Awesome. I think he's probably the best for Marvel. He really goes into detail. And he's just so good at it. Really smooth as well. But I think there's a few other guys. Cosmic Wonder is someone decent, I think.
New Rock Stars go overboard with a lot of the stuff that they pick at. That's actually one of my go-tos after I take my own notes, and then I go to New Rock Stars, and they're pretty much who I go to find what I missed.
Oh, Rockstar, I love those. I think Eric Voss, like, he's quite a good presenter.
Yes,
they do. I like I think they bring in their own theories and stuff, and then they kind of just tell you how it is. I quite like that style, because I don't want just a breakdown of telling you what's happening. I want you to give me more of a spin on why this is how it is, and like that's exactly what Emergency Awesome does as well.
Yeah.
Dude, thinking about it now, like, I will rewatch the episode in a bit and just look at these little details.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No, so for some reason, I found myself, and this is how Marvel gets you. Every time an episode finishes, they always show, because you've watched WandaVision, go watch Age of Ultron.
That's the Marvel effect.
And Marvel has this habit of doing things to make you all of a sudden now care for movies that you didn't really care for at the time that they were out. Yeah. That's why in Endgame, they tied in Thor: A Dark World. You know what I mean? Because that was a movie that didn't really get a lot of good shine, but then they tied it back in with him meeting up with his mom again and making it very sentimental. And then with this, tying this back with Age of Ultron, which a lot of people are saying that it's probably one of the lesser appreciated Marvel films for Avengers.
Oh, it definitely is. It set up a lot of things in Endgame.
It did. Especially with the premonition that Tony Stark had. That was like a snapshot of what Endgame and Infinity
War. Thor saw the gauntlet and the stones. And he was the one that was, ironically, he warned everyone, and he was the first to witness Thanos. Like, you know, when he was leaving Asgard, he was attacked by Thanos. He was warning people, it's ironic in that sense as well. But I think this film, because of Ultron, because of Wanda, because of all that storyline, people are now appreciating it. But people were saying it was trash. It wasn't that good. I always thought it was good because they had these things they didn't have in the first film. The first film was just simply Loki's the main villain. You're bringing the original six together for the first time. You're just establishing what this is. But in Age of Ultron, they tease Infinity War and Endgame, and people didn't even think about that.
They did. And like, if you really pay attention, Age of Ultron was like a big Infinity War commercial.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Because Ultron was talking about wiping out a city, which was a smaller, scaled down version of what Thanos wanted to do with the snap. So they're just brilliant. They just know, like, the team that they have there just know what they're doing. And Kevin Feige is absolutely killing it.
I tell you what, they need to put some more respect on my man Hulk's name because they're doing him dirty too.
Oh, you know what? That's why I can't wait to see the Hawkeye series, because from what I understand, it's going to be really dope. The Hawkeye series?
We're going to see.
Because for all the Disney Plus Marvel shows, they all have movie budgets. So they're all going to look good. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that Falcon. That Falcon and Winter Soldier look real good right there.
Whoa, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's gonna be so good. That's probably one of my most top 10 anticipated, because I can't
wait.
That I'm obviously a big Cap fan, and that's bringing US Agent in. Yeah. These guys, who's gonna finally get the shield? Although I think Sam will. I think Bucky might have it for a bit as well, because that's something they can definitely bring up, because he obviously knows how to deal with the shield, because he's got the serum, he's got the power and everything to deal with that shield, and
he's probably going to
throw it in that way.
He's probably going to be teaching Sam how to use it.
Exactly, because you see that scene when he's throwing the shield. I think Bucky's like, all right, let's do it again, and then he will just try and get used to it, because Sam obviously doesn't have the serum, so he needs to learn everything from scratch. He is, funny enough, he's Bucky's the perfect soldier, but Sam got the shield because he was a good man, not the perfect soldier like Bucky. Yeah. Remember, that's what Erskine said to Cap.
Yeah.
That's why he gave him the serum. And that's why Cap gave him the shield, not because he had the skills like Bucky, but because he was a good man, just like Cap had to be. So I'm curious, if he gets the serum or something, and if US Agent has the serum, because I'm sure that John Walker gets a version of it, but I can't remember. I think he's more powerful than Steve. I'm not sure.
He finally put some respect on Falcon's name, though. You see how he is in that trailer. He going on.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I always liked Anthony Mackie though.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie good, but they never really gave him much to really do, in these movies. It just what's the name? Iron Man. What is Black Man name? Rhodey, yeah.
Machine. But you know what? I have to differ on that, because in the beginning of Civil War, they made Falcon look like a badass.
Oh yeah, that thing with the wings, and then he does that kick.
Yeah.
Damn, that was badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing his thing. I think that was kind of a glimpse of, I guess, what we could expect to see on the show when it's coming out, and more.
He looked like he going in on these trailers though.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And he's more skilled with the wings.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm curious if Bucky will be like kind of the same, or will he just kind of be a mentor to Sam? And obviously they both are kind of like sidekicks to Cap. So like without Steve, like what are they? So they have to kind of establish a friendship, and I think we'll find that out more down the line. That they're like really good friends, and then
it's almost like
I'm just curious how it will end, and what is it going to tie into? Because Thunderbolts is something that I think will happen, and introducing Red Hulk, Zemo is part of the Thunderbolts. Zemo is literally in the series, and General Ross, he's had enough of all the situation. He'll probably kind of he'll form his own thing like he did in the comics. That's why you have all these people, and then I hope he becomes Red Hulk. I just want to see Red Hulk, man.
Well, from what I understand, I think he'll either show up in Thunderbolts or She-Hulk, because apparently in She-Hulk, the real Hulk is going to be there. I think Thunderbolts is going to be there. Abomination is still going to be in it.
I hope there's a rematch with Hulk Abomination.
Hopefully, so okay, is
go ahead, tell us why you mad.
I don't like the Hulk no more. Okay, I just want to say this: they are disrespecting my boy. They disrespected him at the wrong moment too, when he's supposed to be whooping that ass. No, Hulk. And it didn't make me. I am
a little upset that Hulk didn't get his rematch with Thanos.
Yeah,
I think we all can agree there, because as much as I saw, as much as that was insane to see Thanos doing it to him, I just wanted a moment of Hulk like getting a smack on Thanos, even if it was him smashing his head on the ground, like just one moment. And Hulk didn't even like look or even interact with Thanos in the battle. Even if he had like a moment to say, "Now it's my turn to whoop your ass," or remember
like
me?
round two.
It could have been a few seconds at least, and he's like, "Well, you remember what happened?" Or because he obviously saw the entirety of Infinity War when he replayed it through Nebula, so he would have seen that he laid the smack on Hulk. So he would have underestimated, and then Hulk kind of does his thing, and then he's kind of like, I think that's a good homage to the comics as well, because he does F up Thanos quite a bit in the comics.
Bro, now that I think about it, we didn't really see Hulk fight much of anybody in Endgame.
Nope. He was just
he snapped his finger with the glove. I guess that's what put him out of commission, to kind of just sit out.
That's why they did it. And that was the only excuse. That was just a plot.
He ain't even look. He's supposed to have been regenerated, re-healed himself real quick.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Like he's supposed to have the best, or one of the best health factors. So other than Wolverine and like Wade, Deadpool, like he's supposed to regenerate easy. I'm hoping his arm's all good by the time we see She-Hulk, because his arm shouldn't be like that. Like I mean, it is basically the snap throw, one of the most powerful things to do. Like it affected Thanos, and he was the most powerful being to actually be able to withstand it. He did it twice and he didn't die, but you could see the effect.
Right.
So it was permanent. So maybe this effect he has is permanent. But I think they're saying that because they want people to just kind of go, "Oh, that's it for Hulk." Then bang, they're going to bring him back, and I just hope they kind of make him more of a badass. I mean, I don't think they'll be able to do World Breaker Hulk, because that's too OP. Like World Breaker Hulk.
Who would he
could have ended Endgame within a minute. That's like that's what I'm gonna say.
There's a lot of characters that people could have, like, they can't use yet because they're just way too overpowered. They can't bring in
King 4. That's another one.
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer. Now remember, Silver Surfer is a Fantastic Four character.
Yeah,
So
he's coming. He's definitely coming.
He's like a Dr. Manhattan type character.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely coming. I'm telling you now. He's one character that I think could be so important for all the cosmic storyline, and I want to see. Well, I think it was rumored, I think last year or early into 2020, might have been tail end of 2019 after Comic-Con. They were apparently doing a Silver Surfer series. So if that's correct, we'll find like the origins of what happened to him on his home planet, because obviously he became the herald to Galactus because he had to serve him so that his homeland wouldn't get destroyed. But I think it got destroyed anyway or something.
Yeah. And you know what? That's another thing. They better give us a real Galactus this time, not no cloud.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's something I've been pissed about for years. Like, I just want to see this motherfucker. I don't care if he's a little bit smaller than we think. I just want to see him on screen and just, just freaking throw him out there and just have a few lines like they did with Thanos at the end of the first Avengers. We've got to see the big. He's another big purple bastard.
Yeah. Exactly, we deserve it. We've been sitting here for 24 films. Give us what we want now. We deserve it, man. You know what I mean?
I'm playing with it.
Now, the one thing I am curious about, because a lot of these series, I know they tie into different things. I know WandaVision ties into Doctor Strange. I know Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to somehow tie into Black Widow. Where does Moon Knight fall into all this?
I think they might reintroduce like Punisher, Daredevil, those kind of guys, because in a way, like Moon Knight might be his own thing entirely in the MCU. They might go a different route, but like you were saying, or what we were saying before, like Ghost Rider,
Blade,
and I think there's one more character. Basically, Moon Knight's all part of that, and they kind of have their own thing. They're like outlaws. They're like knights. I think there's an actual group.
Who's that movie made by? That Moon Knight movie. Who's that made by?
Well, it's a series.
Moon Knight is going to be a series, and Oscar Isaac is going to be Moon Knight.
I think that's a great casting. Like, I couldn't really think of any other actors that could play it, other than someone like that. Plus, he's basically the Batman of the MCU, so we need someone that could. I mean, I feel like Oscar Isaac could like show what he can actually do through this character. And make amends to that apocalypse he did in X-Men, because that was people thought he was shit, but I hope this is like a second chance for him. Like Chris Evans got it, Michael B. Jordan got it, and then they played great characters. So
let's see how that goes. I'm real curious. And
I think of that Blade.
Last but not least, the post-credit scene. Thoughts?
Oh, the fact that Pietro came back, I was like, that just kind of confirmed to me that it's definitely not just Agnes is controlling him. It's got to be like Mephisto or Agnes is working with someone, and I think Agnes is working with someone else because she probably felt she couldn't do this on her own to get Wanda under her power or control. Yeah. So perhaps she used another person, i.e. Mephisto or Nightmare, because they could easily go, okay, but I want to have something here. Perhaps they just basically get more power. And that scroll and that text thing, that's something to do with the next villain as well, I think. The next big thing. But Monica saw Pietro, and what I'd noticed is her eyes were still blue in that moment. So I don't know how
we don't know what she saw.
Right, she's seen through
everything. Real person. She probably see through all of the illusions.
What if she saw Aaron Taylor Johnson? I know it sounds crazy, but what if she saw the real Pietro and we're like, wait, that's Evan Peters?
It would make sense. It would make sense. But I feel like even that, if it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think she'll be the one person to be able to see, if it is a disguise, who is really under that disguise.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think she was trying to help Wanda as well. So I think the big fight, Wanda will be in control. Well, Agnes will be controlling, and then I think by the end of the fight, she would have kind of forgiven Monica and realized that she was helping her the entire time. Mm-hmm. Although she said something at the start when they first met, when she was Geraldine, it was a bit weird saying about her brother. I think ultimately, like, Monica was trying to give her advice. Like, she lost her mum. You know, she had to live on with it and move on with it. I think they'll become like close because of like the fact they can relate, and like Monica's kind of going to save her. I think
because you can see that it's starting to get to her. Wanda was starting to listen until Agnes showed up. It was like, oh, you need to come inside. She's been through enough.
Yeah, she took her.
Agnes knew that Monica would have basically convinced her, and that was going to ruin Agnes's entire plan of taking Wanda. So
break her out there.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I'm so curious though what the conclusion is to the fight. Who wins the fight? Because I mean, obviously these characters won't die or anything, but does this just end in like a way of Monica just kind of getting all her powers in this fight, or does Wanda whoop her ass and then like she kind of wakes up? I don't know.
Does Vision get back in the mix? Does he jump into the fight at all?
Do you know, if he does, that's probably, I reckon it'll be Monica and Vision fighting Wanda and Agnes. Maybe Agnes kind of hides away or whatever, and maybe Pietro, whoever that is going to be involved. That'd be quite an insane fight.
And what happened to the twins? What did Agnes do to the twins? They're gone.
Well, do you remember what happened in the comics? They basically kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
because they were actually created by the soul, part of Mephisto's soul, and I think Mephisto took the kids, but then they reappeared. They were reborn or something, but they reappeared later down the line, and Wanda saw they were with the Avengers. I don't know if they're going with that storyline, but it would make sense. But again, like we said, I think the fly and the rabbit thing, it's like they've probably been made into something or morphed into something else. Or they could be in another dimension. Like, what if they've been thrown somewhere else and they don't reappear until they go through the multiverse and then they just show up? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up in another film like Ant-Man because of the quantum realm and stuff.
That's true. But don't rule out Spider-Man, because from what I understand,
Spider-Man, yeah.
What I understand, Spider-Man 3 just wrapped up filming a huge action set piece in Atlanta.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure out why they would need such a giant action set piece in that film, unless it involves more than who we think is going to be in the movie.
I believe it will. It's going to have some Avengers up in there too, for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sure. Because I from different interviews I've heard, they were saying that one of the major conflicts in Spider-Man 3 is like Endgame level. So when you say Endgame level, we're looking at you. We're taking it serious. We're like, said Endgame?
I'm not gonna lie, but only that film. I feel like a Spider-Man film with bringing all the different Spider-Man, connecting maybe the Sonyverse as well. That would be the only thing right now that would feel exactly like on the scale of Endgame. Like the hype for that film is gonna be huge. If we're getting completely clickbaited here and there's nothing like that, what we're expecting in the film is going to flop for that reason, because we're expecting the biggest thing. And Holland said it himself, it's the most ambitious standalone film. Come on, Holland, like the Spider-Man, like the other guys are in it. He's capping when he said that he doesn't know anything about.
No, I don't know they're in it. Well, first of all, if you have Electro from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films, and you have Dr. Octopus from the Tobey Maguire films, why would they not have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it? That makes no sense.
And why would they pick on characters who didn't have on-screen deaths? If that makes sense, it was like you couldn't see.
It didn't happen.
Funny how they picked them. But what makes me curious, how did they get if they are okay? Great, we see them on screen, but how did they know about the multiverse? How did they come to the MCU? Like, I'm curious how they enter that universe. Like, how did they know that they would be? What kind of led them there as well? That's what I want to know. Maybe they explain that further down the line in Doctor Strange, but in Spider-Man they kind of just show up, and you're like, wait, how the f are they here?
Yeah.
But I mean, damn, that would almost feel like, the conclusion of Infinity War, with the final snap, and you're like, oh my god, we got to wait a year to see Endgame. Maybe they're doing that with Spider-Man, and then 6-7 months later we see Doctor Strange. They'll kind of explain why they were there and everything.
And what happened while they were inside, while they were in limbo for the 5 years? Because apparently explanation.
I'm just generally curious, like where they've been the entire time. Like maybe the snap, the fact that I think it has to link back to the snap, because the one thing that I like they've been doing throughout, even WandaVision, like with Monica, she came back because of the snap. It reintroduced that Endgame feel. They need to do that every time they link up with a new story. So Fantastic Four, origin snap. I feel like because
the scene that was eliminated from Endgame that included Doctor Strange flying around and gathering everybody up to join that battle in Endgame. That's why everybody in Endgame showed up with the Doctor Strange rings.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was running around gathering everybody up to return.
Oh, that's probably how the Spider-Man will come into the realms then, or the MCU. It'll be Doctor Strange, because that only makes sense why they'd be referenced in that film, because he's got that power. But I think he'll be able to connect that power more to the multiverse, because he was kind of just doing it from locations, wasn't he? In the moment, but he wasn't doing it from. Well, technically, it was another timeline, but it was the time had passed. They were all in the same year technically when they came back. But I think in Spider-Man, the multiverse thing, he could bring someone from like the next big event, Secret Wars. Doctor Strange could be doing that again, the portals thing, but he'll be getting the guys from Endgame or prior to that, and then bringing them like from different timelines and stuff, which would be freaking nuts.
That is true.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I can't wait to see the Spider-Man movie though.
Yeah,
that's gonna be so hyped.
I'm at this point, Marvel has all of my money.
Oh, definitely.
Anything Marvel does, I'm like, I'm locked in. I want to see what you got. I want to see what's gonna happen. Even though I will say that Justice League trailer looking kind of good too.
I watched that.
Oh, I'm liking the Snyder cut way more than the Whedon cut already.
Sure.
I hope they smash it.
Do you think
so. This shit 4 hours?
Do you think Whedon was trying to low key sabotage it? Since he was the one behind Avengers.
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
Some craziness going on over
See,
there.
if that happened, like, I mean, the thing is, Whedon, they fired Whedon after Age of Ultron, so surely he would want DC to do good. I mean, like, why would you want Marvel to thrive? They sacked him. So,
right.
I think there were problems with Whedon. They said, like, he wanted more of his own thing, but Marvel said, we want you to do things. I think it was something to do with setting up future films. He had a problem with that. And Marvel went, we don't want that. The whole point of you doing this film, we want you to set up the likes of Endgame and all this kind of future projects. At the time, they probably said to him, but he wanted more of his own type of direction. And I was like, oh, that's if you want to do the Nolan thing, then go and be Nolan by yourself. Don't try and go into the MCU and do your own thing. Like, that's gonna ruin like the consistency of the MCU as you know it. So I think that it would have never worked with him.
Yeah. Marvel is doing episodic filmmaking.
Yeah.
Whereas these other directors, they just kind of want to have their own self-contained thing, which is cool, but long term, the cinematic episodic filmmaking is way more profitable.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They got 95.5 million subscribers since WandaVision done hit Disney Plus, so they doing a great job.
Now here's the thing. Their goal was to hit that amount in 2 or 3 years. They hit it in 1 year.
They did it in
1 year. That's
all it takes. Because look, remember,
now they're gonna add that other. They're gonna add Star under the Disney banner now, so they're gonna have. They have Hulu.
Hulu possibly as well.
I
think they might have Hulu as well. Apparently they were doing a deal, working with a deal with Disney, which meant all the Hulu stuff would move to that. I think at some point Disney Plus is going to acquire everything,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
most streaming service might even go, and it'll just be maybe Netflix and a few others, and then obviously Disney is the big bubble that it is.
Yeah. Because right now here in the States they have that bundle deal where you can buy ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus for like $12-13.99.
That's so good.
It is. So I'm like, man, I'm not complaining at all. This is great. You know, that $12.99 is less than one Netflix membership. You're getting 3 things with this.
Yeah.
For me, in my currency, that's like probably like £9. So having 3 streaming services for £9, that's fucking mad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way to spend your money.
Yeah. And like, damn, you're gonna get. I mean, I watch sports, then obviously Marvel and all that. I mean, I'd definitely keep on that. I wouldn't even mind paying a bit more than that. That's how good it would be. Yeah. But you know, something I remembered you were saying about Feige earlier on. Do you know why I'm also excited for the future for Phase 4? So since the acquisition of Fox and generally the kickoff of Phase 4, I think he even announces at San Diego Comic-Con, he was going to be, I think he was going to be under control of, you know, he was the head of Marvel Studios. He is no longer just that. He's like the head of Marvel Studios, the Netflix stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking about. There was, okay, so Kevin Feige was in charge of all things Marvel film, and Ike Perlmutter was in charge of the TV division. Now that's no longer the case, especially with the new Disney Plus subscription model. Kevin Feige is in charge of everything Marvel now.
So he knows how to keep the story consistent. This is the great thing, because they had errors in Infinity Saga with some films just not really, you know, not paying consistent effort to that film and this film. Like, look at
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what's that other? What was that miniseries that failed miserably? The Inhumans.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I think Feige, because like this, that's another thing. Those are past mistakes. They don't want to screw up with the Disney Plus series. Plus, these like MCU projects are coming out. To me, they don't seem like as we said it before. It doesn't seem like a TV series. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
It feels like a film just split up into different parts, because it's the production. Like, I think it's 250 million the production or something nuts, and most of that money has gone into the finale. So can you imagine? It's like you're basically watching a film. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And Feige's going to make that consistent. So this could turn out better than what we've seen. Although Endgame, Infinity War were at the peak, so it's nuts.
Yeah. And Kevin Feige oversees all of it, so he knows what the grand story is supposed to be, and he seems to run a tight ship, because everything now is way more cohesive. If you look at Phase 1, it was very obvious that they were all just their own standalone movies with a little bit of connection between them.
Yeah.
Phase 2, it seemed as though they had a little bit of missteps, but a lot of their focuses on the Phase 2 films was to set up the future films, right? But then when Phase 3 happened, it was like they finally gained their momentum and got everything right in terms of the cohesiveness of everything.
Right.
And now with Phase 4, oh, forget it. Everything is going to be seamlessly connected.
That's why I was worried about, obviously, how they're going to top what it is in Phase 3. But with one, Feige said they're expanding the universe. That's just going to make things even greater, because every series, every show is going to have some sort of link to like the bigger films. So as before, it was only the films you had. You didn't have a series. Now you got a series. Now you got a film. There's going to be so many things that tie in before a big project or big Avengers film. Yeah. The next Avengers film, we might see that in a few years. I just can't wait to see that reveal, because that in itself might be bigger than how they revealed the other Avengers, because we know after Thanos, we're going to have a conclusion. We're going to have that first appearance of him. But now it's like, look how many villains we haven't even looked at that are bigger than Thanos, like Galactus, Annihilus, all these guys are cosmic beings. The Beyonder, that's someone that people really want to see.
Oh my gosh.
I think they're going to bring the Beyonder in for Secret Wars because he was the main guy and he kind of brought everyone together. So he created the Battle Worlds or something, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Dude, could you imagine? Like, I think very early into I think this was after they announced Phase 4 stuff. There was a whole thing that was leaked that there were. So Endgame, Infinity War were 2-part thing.
Yeah.
So the Secret Wars storyline was going to be a 6-part thing. 6 parts. And can you imagine seeing each film based on a different battle world? And then the final conclusion is all of them that'd be the biggest. Endgame would be an ant if you compare it to that final Secret Wars film.
Fun fact. Infinity War was actually supposed to end with Thanos just snapping his fingers and they roll the credits. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how crazy we would have gone if the movie ended with him just snapping his fingers and the credits roll? And that's it.
In a way, that would have probably had more impact because you don't know how the Avengers react.
Yeah,
they immediately go trying to find him, or
Yeah.
Because then that basically you show everybody disappearing, and then it leads straight into Hawkeye's family disappearing. And him losing his mind.
Do you know what was the thing is that there was a post-credit scene. So at the start of Endgame, that scene with Hawkeye and his family, that was supposed to be. I heard exactly what that was about. Like I think that was after Infinity War ended. They were going to roll that, but it worked better for Endgame. Plus, oh my god, I think that scene though, I can never forget their faces. For going like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" And then Thanos just goes, "All right, I'm out of here." And then Cap's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And oh my god, and just seeing Thanos at the end of the film smiling, the villain is smiling and he won. I think that got people more than the fact it actually made people cry. I heard people sobbing, sniffing, because obviously they showed the people going away. That was the part that they made people disappearing.
When Black Panther disappeared in the theaters, it was like, oh no, because we just got the big movie.
We just got him.
And do you know what's insane? Like, he was a.
You know what really messed people up? When Spider-Man. Because his dragged a little bit. Because you genuinely see the fear and hear the fear in his voice.
And you know what was great? Apparently Tom Holland improvised that entire scene, or some of it, I think. So if he didn't do that, imagine that. I'm not gonna lie, but I think there was one girl crying her eyes out in front row, in front of me and my brother, and I saw it in IMAX. So we had about 300-400 people in one whole like room, and oh my god, man, it's still one of the best experiences. But like, I just remember as soon as Thanos sat down. No, actually, the scene with Peter, and then you see like them all just kind of going on the floor, and Cap's like, "Oh my god, like this actually happened." But the fact that Thanos sat down and everything went quiet, oh my god, the amount of people that went, "Oh my god," at the same time. I got such chills when I heard the music. My situation
was a little different because when I was in the theater and watched it, after that, I kid you not, as many people as there were in the theater, it was dead silence. Everybody just walked out like, what just happened?
It said something like
that happened as I left the cinema. So I was kind of like, I literally walked out, like literally stroking my forehead like this, and I was like, I was like, look at my brother. These are other people that were there that we kind of just got to know. Bro, he actually won, and everyone's like, nah, that they can't kill those guys. They're definitely coming back. Some random dude was like, motherfuckers, chill. They're gonna be back. Don't you worry. And he just like walked out. That's all he said. This random guy didn't know. And like, yeah, I just remember people then started like talking as they were outside of the cinema, but going out, apart from when they were seated, no one was talking. And I was like, damn, that I've never had a film experience hit me like that. That was Empire Strikes Back for me, pretty much. So
yeah, that was a great,
and
great
I was like, where do we go from here? Because around this time, there was no type of details as to what was going to happen in Endgame. We didn't even know if it was going to be called.
It was so secret. Like, the whole time travel thing was the biggest theory, and that was bound to happen because they were bringing that up with the quantum realm, and obviously watching Ant-Man as well.
They did the time travel was different. A time travel heist?
Yeah.
Crazy. And then to show those scenes that we already know and love from older movies that we've seen already was like,
oh yeah.
Do you know
Captain America fighting those old so?
You know, I thought Cap was gonna die. There was one moment when I saw that fight with him and Thanos. I was like, don't tell me they killed Cap at the end of the film, and that's one of the cliffhangers. But that wasn't the case. And then I thought, is he gonna die in Endgame? Because if they kill Cap, I'm done. I can't be doing this no more. Watching this, but because you know he does this thing with the shield. You know he gets a shield back, but like, people are like he's fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Do you know what was funny as well? Do you know that little scene? I think this is the second teaser we got of the Super Bowl. Then they showed that little teaser, and it's the one where Cap says, "But not us." And then they then showed the thing with him getting the shield. But I think there's a moment where I think you can see Iron Man, Thor, and Cap, but people thought that was Doctor Strange because of the cape. Yeah. But they didn't think of Thor. So people were like, "Oh, Doctor Strange is with them in that battle." I was like, it wouldn't make sense because Thor is in that MCU Trinity. But oh man, I remember the simple times and people thought Cap had the Soul Stone when he was fighting Thanos with the gauntlet. Like, dude.
Marvel just knows what they're doing. Simple as that. And I can't wait to see what happens in the next 2 weeks. And even in between series, they're going to do the whole behind the scenes of each series as it ends. So when WandaVision is over, they have the making of WandaVision to fill in that week before Falcon and Winter Soldier comes. And then when that's over, the making of Falcon and Winter Soldier before the next series. It's like we're getting non-stop Marvel content for a good while.
Do you know, this is great because by the time we see like Secret Wars and all that, can you imagine like all the build-up we've had? Like we've not really had a break from Marvel. We'll constantly be on it. And the news will roll out quicker because even if there is a 2-week break, you're going to be really in touch with, okay, what's been happening before this film kind of rolls out. Then we've got the series like the week after. Like we were saying before, GQ, they've done it so coherently with just bringing the series in, but the scheduling is nuts. Like you said, every week, but that means you'll never get like it's non-stop Marvel content, and they've announced all these series, but there's going to be more they announce. I think they just get bigger each phase. Like Phase 5 is already going to be massive.
Look,
I know
we haven't even touched on Secret Invasion yet. We haven't even talked about the Young Avengers. We haven't talked about Miss Marvel. Like, there's so many things coming. And
I'm curious about Secret Invasion because I honestly thought that would have been an Avengers film because I personally wanted to see that as a movie, but maybe they might make it hour-long episodes, which I would like to see because that's a very big storyline.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think those are like 45 minutes to an hour each.
I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that.
Yeah, it looks super intense. But man, I don't know what else to touch upon, man, because I feel like we've dug as deep as we could possibly dig. But I'm sure I'll come across another video pointing out something else that I didn't notice in WandaVision, and I'm gonna have to watch it again. And it's oh man. I love it though. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
Oh, can't wait. I can't wait till next week. I'm like, now that they revealed Agatha Harkness, where do we go for the next 2 episodes? I know I'm getting that big fight in the last episode.
It's getting dark, man. The way that episode ended, like a horror movie almost. Like when she was going into the basement, the further she went, you heard the eerie, the music and all that. I'm like, damn, there's something about to jump out, and we about to jump this joint. I was on the edge right there. I see where the horror gonna come in at on that Doctor Strange though. I can see where they're going with it. I like it.
It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
Definitely.
Right, I think we touched on pretty much everything we could possibly touch on regarding this series and Marvel in general. But we will definitely be back same time next week because I'm sure something else shocking is going to happen. That we
have to be. It's that second to last episode.
Yeah.
Have to be.
So as it gets closer and closer to the end, we'll definitely have more to talk about. But until then, we are wrapping it up. We thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day. And y'all take it easy.
Hey.
Boom.